I'm actually
The thing is, when I moved here to study, it became kind of boring
I was
because Slovenia is such a small country.
grandchildren, very
When you
spoiled.
think about it and it
When we
didn't
landed in
happen to
Atlanta,
you,
that
you're
was
like,
first time.
you have to
All the
talk.
thoughts
What I
went
like
away.
in Azerbaijan
First time I saw
is that you can
disappear.
always see
and
something
they don't
changing.
agree
Yeah, they were
with my
really,
kind
really,
of
really,
living. They
really
had
poor
problems.
before they came back to.
So because this is my life, this is not their life.
When you ask two people to tell you something interesting about them, they will tell you, I don't have anything special, I don't have anything to say, I'm not a really interesting person. We often think that only known people or celebrities have a life that is worth telling. But this is not true. We all live things. That's what I want to know. My name is Lison, I come from France, and I want to discover the stories behind people, and I'm sure you have a lot to say. Sonny grew up in Azerbaijan in a mix of culture. His dad was born in India, and he also has some Ukrainian origins. 4 years ago, he chose to come here in Slovenia to study tourism. He will tell us more about the differences between those two countries, with the positive and the negative aspects.
Yeah, my mom is from Azerbaijan and my dad is from India. And yeah, like they met when my father went to study in Azerbaijan from India. And yeah, it's a funny story actually. Like they were living in no. The thing is, yeah, the building where my mom lived, there was another Indian family, like two stories up, yeah. And my father used to work for the guy that lived there, and my grandma used to clean their flat sometimes, and cook for them and stuff like that. So, and that's how my mom and my dad met, because my dad used to be a lot in their flat working, and my grandma was there and she used to take my mom there, and that's how they met.
So they met in India?
No, in Azerbaijan.
In Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know why your father was working in Azerbaijan?
I don't know why he chose Azerbaijan in particular, but he went to study there. He studied, I think, oil engineering or something like that. I know there's something to do with engineering and something to do with oil, but not the particular profession.
Okay. And so you grew up in Azerbaijan? Born there?
I was born there, I grew up there, and yeah, I lived there.
How was it? Because I don't know anything about the country, so you can maybe present.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. The thing is, when I moved here to study, it became kind of boring because Slovenia is such a small country, and yeah, and also what I like in Azerbaijan is that you can always see something changing. There's some progress, some I don't know, new buildings, new places opening, closing, and here, for example, nothing changes. For 4 years I've been in Slovenia, and yeah, it's all the same. So.
And you were living in a big city in.
Yeah, I live in the capital.
Okay.
There. Yeah, that's why I have this big city lifestyle, because I lived in the capital and also maybe 5 minutes from the city center. So.
Yeah. It's really different.
Yeah.
And why you choose to come here?
Because my goal kind of was always to go study somewhere out of my country, because I always liked the idea of traveling and living somewhere else. Because we all have this when we live in our country. You see the minuses and you forget about the pluses, and you're I just want to leave this place as fast as I can. And I kind of didn't appreciate how nice the life there is actually before I moved here. I'm not saying that it's bad here, it's just different and not my kind of lifestyle.
Why?
too slow, too boring. Like you cannot feel life when you come out to the streets, because back home you just leave your building and there are like people going to work. There are like cars driving. Just you feel something happening. It's like you're in an ant farm and just like a lot of people are moving.
And so you're here since 4 years in Slovenia?
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
4 plus some kind of months. Yeah.
And how was, when you just arrived, it was the first time?
For the first time it was nice because like it still was something new. I've never like actually been to Europe before that. Yeah, I've only been to England, but like it's still Europe, but it's different than the European Union. So yeah, it was like the first year was the most interesting because I was still finding out new stuff, making new connections, like meeting new people. But then it got boring real fast, and yeah, I kind of lost the like motivation to be here, do stuff.
And you were studying in Ljubljana? Or?
No, like I'm still studying where I'm studying now in Portorož on the Faculty of Tourism Studies.
Okay, yeah. So, and do you miss some things in your country because now you have maybe a bit of?
Yeah, like okay, yeah. There's a thing. Maybe it sounds a bit weird. No, not weird. Like I'm too lazy focusing on the wrong things, but at least back home we have a lot of like more places to like go to in your free time. You can do a lot of stuff. Here you don't have much choices. It's like either come to the youth center, and before I even discovered this place, like I had nowhere to go, or just like meeting up with friends, going for a coffee. Nah, it gets boring after a while.
And about the difference of culture between Azerbaijan and Slovenia?
Yeah, there's a big difference of culture. Like, the thing is, I like the people, the lifestyle. No, like, the mentality here is a little bit better.
Why?
Back home, because we are mostly a Muslim country, there are people that like still have this old thinking, old-timey lifestyle, like, and a lot they like you get judged a lot. Like even if no one says anything, you can walk on the street and like if you even have dreads or tattoos or something like that, like you'll get some looks. And at some point like you just stop caring, but it gets annoying, just like, why are you looking at me? So yeah, we have a lot of like those conflicts.
Judgment,
yeah.
And you don't feel it here?
Here like the lifestyle is mostly like you do your thing, I'll do my thing, just don't bother me, and that's it.
Okay.
So yeah, because here I can even see like people, like walking around barefoot without shirts on the streets, like no one would care, no one even looks at them. And back home it would be like, the whole place would just be like staring at one guy.
So for example, the way you dressed, usually you can be dressed like that in your country, or?
No, I can still be like it's progressing still, like but there are some points, like for example, about the dressing, like if you care about what people think about you, like for example at home you wouldn't wear shorts if you're a man. Like there is like a cultural thing going, not a cultural, there's like a thing going on every year when the summer comes. There's always a debate, like should men wear shorts in summer, and like some people, like most of the people are like, what's wrong with that? And they don't care. But there are always some people that start, it's not Muslim and things like that, and you just think, okay, we're not living in a Muslim country where you get like those religious rules. You can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, so why do you even care?
And you think in Azerbaijan there's a difference between the generation because maybe you and your generation are more progressive, let's say, in a way?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because I see that like every generation is like more progressive than the previous one, and there are a lot of like conflicts between generations, and also like the problem is that most of the progress used to be situated like mainly in the capital. So the other cities, they are getting neglected and they don't see a lot of the world. They're not as open-minded. And when they move to the capital, they still like have this like closed thinking that, oh, like for example, I don't know, if you're a girl, you're not allowed to go to clubs and stuff like that. You have to sit at home and study, I don't know, whatever. And like there's a conflict between like people who were raised like in that way and people who are more progressed, raised like in a more tolerant way.
But you feel that it's changing a bit because you told me that even in the capital it's moving fast, even the building.
Yeah, I've
like
noticed that there are like in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years I see some changes because like overall people are getting more progressive, even though there are still those like close-minded people that are raised that way. They still I see people that grow up and they start thinking otherwise, and they kind of disconnect from the other family, but still like they are more progressive and they are also like the others.
And after when you will finish your studies, do you want to come back in Azerbaijan or you want to move?
I was thinking about that, but we have a lot of problems with like getting a job and stuff like that, because mostly the high paid positions are taken by people that have been there for years, and like there's just some old guy sitting doing the same stuff he's been doing, and under him there's like his son, his nephew, his I don't know, grandchildren, whatever.
So if you're not a part of the family,
it's hard to get up there somewhere. So I'm thinking if I'm returning, I will return either with a like fixed job if I find already, or if like I already I'll start my life somewhere else and then come back already like prepared for everything.
Okay. And do you want to, because sometimes people, when they move out of their countries, they want to come back and to change things after. Do you have this feeling too, or?
I would love to, but like only if I get any chance to, like any idea how to do it, because like there are a lot of things that could be changed, but no one has the like chance to do it.
Yeah. And so you arrived 4 years ago.
4 years. 4 years.
More or less. And you learned Slovenian in 1 year?
Like in a year I was already like speaking openly.
Yeah.
And after like a year and a half, I got a job, and when I started working, I even started like speaking more and more fluently, because I started learning the slang and like what people like usually say, and so yeah.
Is it similar to your language?
No, Azerbaijani is more similar to Turkish. It's like a different language family. But I think the fact that I know Russian kind of helped me a bit, because, well, if you know a Slavic language, you already like have the idea of the sounds and stuff, so it's easier to adapt.
Okay. And I told you that I don't know much about Azerbaijan. Because you're working, like you're doing some studies about tourism, can you just promote your country if you want to?
Of course. Like the thing I also like about like Azerbaijan is how we manage, like it's managed to balance the new things and the old things, like the history with the progress. Because like lately Baku, for example, the capital, has been looking a lot, like reminds me of Dubai, for example, like these skyscrapers and stuff, but there are still those, you can see those old timey historical buildings. For example, like one of the main attractions in the city is the Maiden Tower. Like we have a whole, no, like the old city, the Maiden Tower is in the old city, so it's a small part in the city center of the capital that like shows what Baku used to be back in the day. So it's just like and there are still people living there, and there are those small streets, and it's all blocked by a big wall, stone wall, and it used to be just this with the Caspian Sea on one side and land on the other. And like just this tiny spot used to be Baku, that you can just like pass from one end to another in 15 minutes.
It's kind of the little city in the city right now.
Yeah, you can see like how it like grew from this small tiny place to like this giant city.
Yeah.
So
it's growing again, like the capital.
Like I don't know if it's like growing, but yeah, there's a lot of renovations happening, a lot of events lately. Like we have this, for example, Formula One, the whole tourism thing. Like the Baku started being more of a tourist spot after 2012, or no, more like 2011 when we won the Eurovision. So we had to host it in 2012, and after that I think that was like the stepping point for all the progress and just like putting the country on the map thing happening. Because I see that before there weren't much happening there, not many concerts or like this huge artists and stuff, not many events, like again the Eurovision, I don't know, some sports, some whatever, and after that, like all of a sudden, I don't know, we're hosting the Formula One Grand Prix like every year for the last 3 years or something like that. We're having the like Islamic Games, the first European Games. It's like, yeah, that thing is pointless though. Like it's the Olympic Games, but it's just for Europe. Yeah.
So you think it's more open to, more external people can come in Azerbaijan?
Yeah, like it became more like, before I just told people that I'm from Azerbaijan, people were like, what is that? Now like it gets more recognized, so like more people start to know about us.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, but if you don't want to answer, you cannot answer. I wanted to ask you because you come from a Muslim country. Are you Muslim?
I personally don't like. I believe in something, but not in some particular religion, because religiously looking, like my family is very mixed, because my grandma, for my mom's side, my mom's mom, she is from Ukraine, so she's Christian. My grandpa is from Azerbaijan, he's Muslim, and like my mom doesn't follow religion that much, but like we celebrate a bit of both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like I've lived in this not very like religious family, and like I grew up, I just thought, okay, so like all of the religions like just tell you how to be a nice person. Like there are not much, like there are differences, but the base is still the same. That's why like I don't know what is up there, but something maybe is, and
yeah. And was it something quite usual in Azerbaijan to have this kind of really different A family with a lot of
Yeah,
different kind of
because
religions.
like during the Soviet Union, we had like a lot of people from Russia, from like whatever, from the Soviet countries, moved to Azerbaijan, and like people from Azerbaijan moving there, so we mixed a lot.
Okay, and it was not a problem, let's say, if you're Christian, for example, because it's majority Muslim country.
No, there is no problem with that.
Okay. Thank you for listening this podcast. If you want to participate, to talk about a specific topic or something that happened to you, you can send me a private message on Center Mladi Koper Facebook page. I will be really happy to meet you. See you soon for a new story.